I want to begin by welcoming you to Living Financially Well. This is my contact information. We are your credit union partner with the ARC of Carroll County. We're super proud to be partners and help you along your financial journey. We want to give you some tools and resources. We try to do these financial wellness sessions quarterly on different topics that you find interest in that would be helpful. And today's topic is living financially well. And we really just want to review today our thinking and emotions when it comes to our finances, how it impacts our everyday life, and how our decisions around living financially well impact our everyday life. So I just want to give you some tips and future thoughts as you progress on your journey, okay, of living financially well. Really what that means to you, thinking about that, because everybody's in a different, stage of their life, and living financially well is different for everyone. So I want to start off with a challenging question, just to get everyone thinking. If you can improve your financial life by 25%, just by that much, what would that look like to you? And what are some barriers that are preventing you from making that change? So, what could that be? Maybe you are one income household. Maybe you have a lot of student loan debt and you're dealing with that. Or just generally overextended in debt and you're looking to improve your cash flow. So think about that. You as an individual, what are some barriers that are preventing you from making a change, of improving your financial life and living more financially healthy? We are not alone in this journey. Financial distress is common. According to a 2023 Stress in America survey, those folks ages 35 to 44, 77% are stressed about their money. So I'm going to throw out a couple more statistics. 70% of workers say financial stress is their most common cause. The 77% is that accurate, up-to-date number for this year. 48% experience stress when dealing with their financial situation. So, they're not just struggling with their finances, they could be struggling health-wise. 60% of households don't even have 3 months of savings on hand. This is really pretty alarming. Another survey says 1 in 5 of us have no emergency savings on hand. So really, how will we cope if something major happens? A loss of income, or maybe a family member gets sick. How are we going to cope with those things? So that's a pretty alarming statistic. So being financially healthy and displaying positive behaviors around our finances, a big part of that is building up our 3 to 6 months of emergency savings. That's so critical. And the last statistic on financial distress says 35% of us, we have debt collections reported in our credit files. So that means we're either late on payments, behind, it's being reported on our credit reports, and that's really affecting our ability to get credit. And then we're also being tacked on late fees. Okay, so ask yourself, do you feel preoccupied, or have you in the past felt preoccupied with financial thoughts at work? It's not uncommon. We have all dealt with it at one time or another. We want to help you get through that. This is another chart showing what happens when we neglect our financial wellness. So if we're saving, about 77% of us say that financial matters cause us the most stress, well, in turn, that's costing companies, it's $300 billion a year in stress related to the cost for healthcare and paying those bills. 1 in 3 of us state personal finances really are a direct distraction at work. It's impacting our work-life balance, which really that turns into unproductivity in the workplace. And then 6 in 10 of us say that our finances impacts our health in a negative way, which again, healthcare costs are going up. It's hitting our bottom line, right? So that's really important why financial wellness programs are in place, giving employees and organizations and our partner groups tools to help you get on the road financial freedom. So ask yourself, why are we so hyper-focused, right, on our finances? Well, obviously it's impacting our day-to-day. And not only that, but our relationships, our performance at work, our overall how we feel, our well-being, right? So what are some things that you worry about? Maybe it's managing your 401k. Are you contributing enough? Are you taking advantage of your retirement plan at work? Are they matching it? So are you maximizing that so you can really retire at an age that you want to, be comfortable? They say you need about 75% of your income to live comfortably at retirement, at least that. And maybe it's knowing you have enough for retirement, leaving a legacy for your family if that's important to you, not carrying a lot of debt, paying for maybe a dependent for school or college. I know I'm doing that right now. That's a really big thing. Big chunk of money that I'm saving for is private school. And then this is a really big one. This is that getting out of living paycheck to paycheck, right? That really will change our financial position if we can disrupt that paycheck to paycheck cycle. What I have learned recently in a financial counseling certification class is we get into a cycle that is unhealthy, which is earn, spend, earn, and spend. Instead, we want to earn, save, spend. That's so critical. That really hit home for me. You want to earn your paycheck, you want to pay yourself first, pay everything, and then you look to what you have left to spend. That really helps with needs and wants and evaluating that. So again, you want to earn, save, and spend. This is interesting. We think negatively. I guess it's not totally surprising, but it's easy to be repetitive in our negative thoughts. We have about 50 to 60,000 thoughts a day, 90% are repetitive, and most are negative. So it's really easy to say all these things, right? But we want to implement those changes. So it's hard to do that. It's hard to build new habits. We learn things from an early age. Maybe our parents passed things down to us. Maybe we didn't have that. We learned on our own. But it is possible if we stay focused. And we really need to set goals. That's going to help us stick to our goals, mark it off, check it off our to-do list, and celebrate small accomplishments, right? Take it step by step. Some thought distortions around money. So think of kind of where you fit in. Are you a should thinker? I should have more money saved before I speak with a financial professional. Or maybe magnification. It'll take me forever to pay off my debt. This is simply impossible. I don't have time to deal with it right now. Do you disqualify the positive? Are you too hard on yourself? Well, so what if I save money? It's still not enough. Or are you all or nothing thinking? I don't do any type of investing. I'm not an expert. I would only mess things up. So you're kind of hands off. So it's easy to see here that our thoughts turn negative pretty quickly. So we have to reshape our thinking, and that's not easy to do. Well, we fall into this trap very often. When we are looking at the 6 dimensions of wellness, as you can see, financial wellness is not directly listed on here, but it does directly impact and affect all of our 6 areas of wellness. It's most closely integrated with occupational wellness. So if we are struggling, if we are stressed out, if we don't have that emergency savings and our, water heater goes up or car repair or a bill comes in, a hospital bill, what are we doing, right? Well, it automatically is going to impact all these different areas of our lives. They're all interconnected. Oh, more statistics. 85% of us are anxious about our financial situation. It's interfering with our work. So it's so important to have these financial wellness education resources and solutions to help you know where to start, where to find the answers, where to go, where to look for help. And then employees with very high financial anxiety, they're not just taken off because they're physically sick, because they're dealing with stress. We know what that can do to our bodies. They're missing time out because of that. I think this is probably the most important slide that you're going to find in this presentation, because it takes you through a step-by-step of how to become more financially free, have more choices, and feel more financially well, which is what we all want. That's what our goal is. The first step in that is this middle circle here, which is developing our financial identity. What does that look like? Are we just talking about you, yourself, or do you have a partner? Do you have children? That's so important because we have to identify who we are, what our goals are, and then we have to prioritize our goals. And that's very important too. What's most important right now in our stage of life? What's least important? So we have to look at short and long term. Then we're going to move over here to the left, which is establishing goals, right? We want to establish short-term, medium-term, and long-term goals. They're all important. Short-term goals could be, paying off a debt. Medium-term could be saving for down payment on a car. Long-term is retirement. Putting a budget in place is key. This is the foundation of being financially well. We all dread that word, right? But budgeting is so important because it's going to help us lead us on a path to help us meet our goals and create more disposable income so we have more choices with our money. And then right here, this is key, building that savings and emergency fund. That's what we really want to do. We want to stop using debt, which that's kind of impossible, but we want to lower the amount of debt we have. Where did my thing go? Nope. And we want to increase our emergency cash and savings. So we want to always increase that while lowering debt and paying off debt. That is key. Okay, so that number one step after developing our financial identity is what really the base and the foundation of being more financially well. Debt management, good credit from an early age. There is time. If we messed up our credit, we can turn it around. It does take much longer to improve our credit than building it back up. It takes a lot longer to do that. So we want to establish that from an early age. It's a really important thing to pass on to our young adults, teaching them good credit, paying our bills on time, not getting behind, because it all builds up on your credit report and it affects your ability to get credit and the rates you're paying. So the less interest you're paying, the better. So we want to establish good debt management so we can boost our emergency and savings funds while building good credit. So it's good to have credit. We want to all have, some type of credit. We need that. It helps our credit readiness and if we need future loans. So we just don't want to overextend ourselves. We want to look, financial institutions look at your debt to income ratio. So you don't want to overextend. We want to keep it minimal number of credit cards, 1 to 2, maybe an extra for emergencies, but we want to keep the balances low. Okay, growing and protecting our precious savings. That's next. So this is more in the line, not of savings and emergency fund, but outside of that, in addition to that. So setting it on autopilot, you can do for your savings and emergency. You can also do it for this, which would be like additional IRA accounts, supplementing your 403B at work. Then planning for retirement, talking to a tax advisor to help you know that you're in the right situation when you are ready to retire. And then down the road, towards the end of our lives is our long-term care planning and estate planning, what we're leaving for our families. So again, these are steps. They don't happen all at once. So you got to give yourself grace, patience. It's a process. Okay. But this is probably the most important thing, most important takeaway today. When we establish good positive behaviors, we're going to have, like I said, I keep mentioning this, more freedom, right? More disposable income, more options to use our money. It's going to lead to healthier financial management, which increases our self-enrichment. We're going to have freedom to spend money on experiences rather than just things. Our occupational well-being goes up. We have more fulfilling career choices and everyday life. We're not so stressed. So our daily perception of our life is better. We're happier people. I mentioned budget, the ugly word earlier in the session, but it's not an ugly word. It really is the key to becoming more financially healthy. So do any of these sound like you? Budgeting means I'm being deprived and uncomfortable. It takes too much time. I have it and use it every month. It's easy. Or I've tried this whole budget thing, I never stick to it. So why bother? So which statement best reflects how you feel about it? Well, I want to change your mind. I want to get you thinking about establishing a budget. And the reason being because you want to flip it and think of it as a spending plan, not as something that's restricting you, okay? So it's awareness of where your money goes. By setting up the budget, it's not a set in stone thing. It's fluid. As you can change things, as you're paying off debt, you will have more money to allocate to other wants and needs, not just needs. So it's created with you in alignment with realistic expectations. And that's so important to emphasize. So we don't want to set budgets that we're not going to be able to adhere to and that are not realistic. So it's based on goals. So it's good to write down what you want to achieve in 3 months or a year from now or 3 years from now and be able to mark those off as we're going along. So think of it as overspending, you're going without, but budgeting really means that you're taking control. And just know it can be adjusted. This is an awesome slide too. I do this myself. It's very valuable. It helps me with the earn and the save and the spend. That alignment that goal that we're trying to hit. They're earning your paycheck, you're saving right away in these buckets, and then you're spending. You have the money that you know that you have to spend until the next paycheck. So think of a bucket for every dollar here. Bucket one, and these are sub accounts. And I use this with the credit union. I set up sub accounts for different needs. It can be different goals like tuition or different expenses. I name my buckets and I'm putting money in there. Usually each paycheck, but you can do it monthly, whatever you feel would work for you. This is kind of like that envelope method, if you've heard of that. But think of that bucket for every dollar. Bucket one is your have to haves. You can't go without these. These are the necessities, your food, your gas, your housing, all of that, okay, that we have to have. But as you can see in here, emergency account savings is part of that have to have. So our goal is 10% of our paycheck. If you can't meet the 10% right away as you're working up your budget, just do whatever you can and then work towards that 10% and then strive to go even higher than that. Your bucket number two, most of us consider we're depriving ourselves of these, and these aren't every day, not every day, every monthly, what's the word? Ongoing expenses that you don't see every month. Like new clothes, we're typically not buying on a monthly basis. Entertainment, yeah, you want to treat yourself to an Amazon purchase, of course, but you shouldn't be doing that on a consistent basis. So if you get my idea here, household items, yeah, probably monthly, but maybe every other month. So that's your have to have buckets. Bucket number three is your near-term expenses, like your homeowner's insurance, your car insurance, taxes, big home repairs, just maintaining. It's very costly to own a home. So things come up, big expenses, and maybe a summer vacation. So maybe these you're putting away every couple months, every 2 months or 3 months, and you're saving. And then lastly is your future. With your retirement, you should be doing payroll deduction right into that from your paycheck. And then you can also, if you pay off a car loan, you can keep making the payments to yourself, but just in a savings account. So you can save for your next car down payment. And then maybe, your next home would be a future goal. Okay, so just keep that in mind. It prioritizes our spending. Okay, few statistics about debt. The average person has about 4 credit cards, and we have $3.2 trillion in debt, which is outrageous. So again, we want to stop creating new debt and boost our savings. Those are the two things, focuses we need to have. We look at debt to income at the credit union. We don't really lend if you're overextended, which we look at the range around 40% for that. But if we are paying off current debt, that is a factor that we do look at, that we would consider as well, to lower that debt to income ratio. But again, you look at these, it negatively impacts our thinking around our money and our finances. So we all live and manage with debt. It's about how do we stop racking up debt? How can we do and feel better? So we just have to really look at our wants and our needs and focus on savings and less debt. So there's two strategies to do this with debt reduction. So some of us may look at this and say, I don't know, maybe I'll just start with the highest balance, or I'll start with the lowest balance or the highest interest rate. Most experts say, go with the one that has the highest interest rate because that's the one you're throwing away interest to every month. So there's two strategies here. I don't know if you're going to be able to hear him, but let me try. Let me know if you cannot hear him.
Now, the mathematical approach works by having you choose one of your outstanding debts, but this is the one that has you choose the debt with the highest interest rate. So let's say, for an example, that's the furniture store credit card. This balance can be paid off the soonest by making minimum payments on the other debts while attacking the debt with the highest interest rate. So once that furniture store is paid off, then you take those monthly payments and apply it to the next highest interest rate, which you've been making minimum payments on until then. That one's paid off, move that to the next, and so on and so on. Although this strategy is mathematically efficient, it can be difficult to stay focused when you're tackling a large debt with a high interest rate. So maybe you need some motivation, which our next approach provides.
Okay, so our next approach is going to be the snowball method.
Okay, the smallest to largest, or the snowball method, it works by having you choose one of your outstanding debts, the one with the smallest balance. Let's say it's just one of your credit cards. This balance can be paid off the soonest because it has the least amount to pay on. While paying the minimum on the other items, you pay the most you can on that top line item until it's completely paid in full. Then you take what you were paying on that top line item and roll it down or snowball to the next line item, continuing to make minimum payments on the others. It gets paid off, move that amount down, and so on and so on. Logically, we understand that paying off the higher interest rates will save us money over time. However, building new habits and beliefs takes time. And for those of us who are not ready to make debt reduction a top priority, a boost of confidence is a great first step in moving forward. Okay,
Okay, so what approach do you think would work best for you? And this may take some thinking on your part, but it could be paying off the higher interest rate or the small balance. It really is what's going to motivate you and keep you on track. It's okay if you don't know, that's fine too. The most important thing is just pick one strategy and go with it and work on paying the debt. So set those goals, develop an exit plan, implement it, and monitor and see how you're doing.
Now, you might be wondering if you should pay off the highest interest rate debt first or the smallest debt balance first. Here's the good news. Both systems work. Regardless of how you choose to pay off your debt, by creating a plan and then sticking to it, you are accomplishing the goal of getting out of debt. And as you do, your thoughts around money will continue to change and mature. And as you take action, your feeling of accomplishment will put your be, do, have model into overdrive. The most important thing to remember is to choose an approach and then refine the model to fit your situation over time.
So I'm going to go over some free resources now, in addition to the webinars that we provide, that you have access to right now on our website, on our Financial Wellness Center. The first one I really want to emphasize is Green Path, because a lot of members use Green Path Financial Counseling, and you're offered a one-on-one counseling session with a certified financial wellness counselor. It's completely confidential, and it's done over the phone. It's not shared with the ARC. They provide services on the left-hand side here for free. Financial and debt counseling, cleaning up your credit, student loan counseling, mortgage delinquency, rental counseling. And then they do offer some services for a fee around student loans. They have a debt management program, bankruptcy and foreclosure prevention, and others. So definitely, they also provide their own webinars, worksheets, financial calculators, and short articles, quick reads. But they're a wonderful resource. So if a member is trying to apply for a loan and we're not able to approve them, we refer them to GreenPath. They work with the member, and usually it's not a one and done. They follow up with the member on how things are going. So that's something that you can do. You can contact them as soon as you join and you're a member of the credit union. And they'll work with you to establish a budget. That's one of the things that that's really not listed here, but they do that for sure. So they'll work on establishing a budget with you and then following up with you on how things are going with that. Bonsai is another really cool resource that we have on your portal. I believe it's on your portal at the ARC, different ways to interact, and it houses everything financial wellness related. There's 4 different ways to interact with the site. You can scroll and do a search. You can plug in a keyword. There's drop-down menus. You can look to life-changing events and search by that, like if you're getting married or going through a divorce. They'll give you resources and different modules to go through. And the cool thing is they offer these virtual coaches. So it's interactive and it's quick reads and interactive with you. Built into Bonsai is a financial wellness assessment that you can take that will grade you on how financially well you are. And then they give you action items on helping you move forward and meeting your goals. There are also calculators here as well. This is something you can go to right now and access and start browsing the information. So I highly recommend this. It's a free, really ease of use tool. Even dependents can use it. These are for young adults. This is on our financial wellness site as well. Cartoon style, quick, funny, makes them get interested in different topics like using a debit card, compounding interest, loans, using a credit card, things like that. Really cool things they should be learning at an early age that you can, an easy way to introduce it to them. Now, in addition to our financial wellness resources, we do provide all the financial products and services you would find at a bank, but lower cost. Credit unions are not for profit. We're owned by our members, so we share profits back to you all. And in turn, you're going to see better interest rates. We're not nickeling and diming you. So you're saving more money, keeping more money in your pocket. A lot of great perks with the credit union, including these listed here. So you can do everything with a credit union, the exception of savings bonds. We do it all. You can bank from anywhere. We have a Westminster branch, but you can do everything right on your mobile device. And we do have surcharge-free ATMs nationwide as well. If you join, if you're not already a member, you can scan this code here on your screen and use the code promo25 because that will put $25 in your account. First Financial is going to do that on your behalf. So we're going to put that in as an onboarding gift to start your account for you. And then you can set up direct deposit and it can be your full pay or any amount that you want.